President Vladimir Zelensky has lowered the mobilization age for combat duty from 27 to 25. Ukraine's been facing a shortage of troops for many months. The bill had been on Zelensky's agenda since it was approved by lawmakers in May 2023. It's not immediately clear what prompted him to sign it. Ukraine's parliament, the Rada, has been discussing a separate bill to broadly tighten draft rules for many months. The move expands the number of civilians the army can mobilize into its ranks to fight under martial law, which has been in place since Russia launched its full-scale invasion in February 2022. So that's the first development on Ukraine. The NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg is proposing creating a €100 billion five-year fund for Ukraine. Officials said this Tuesday it's a push to get the alliance more involved in sending weapons to Kyiv. NATO foreign ministers will hold preliminary talks on the plan in Brussels. That's scheduled for Wednesday as they seek to forge a support package for Ukraine by a July summit to be held in Washington. There are many developments, including a long-range strike by Ukraine into Russian territory. Let's get more on all developments. Gulliver Cragg, our Ukraine correspondent, standing by, joining us live. Gulliver, good evening to you. What exactly has President Zelensky signed?
Well, he actually signed three measures today that were passed on separate occasions by the Ukrainian parliament. One of them is creating a sort of online profile for every mobilized or potentially mobilizable person. That is, for some reason, controversial. People don't want to be getting their call-up papers by a message in an app. Another is the abolition of the category of people who are considered to have a limited capacity for military service. The idea is either you can or you can't, and everybody who's got a certificate because of some kind of health problem saying that they've got limited capacity has to now repass a medical examination in order to determine whether they are exempt or not exempt. This is an anti-corruption measure because a lot of these certificates are actually obtained by paying bribes. And then the biggest headline one is reducing the age of mobilization from 27 to 25. As you said, this law was actually passed in late spring of last year, and Volodymyr Zelensky refused to sign it at first. That was when Ukraine was still hoping to have a successful counteroffensive, take back its territory, and perhaps end the war quickly and avoid needing to pass an unpopular measure such as this one. Volodymyr Zelensky has been reluctant to sign it because he knows it's not going to be popular, but pressure was really mounting on him to do so. For months, it's been clear that this is going to be a long war and Ukraine needs to prepare for it. The army are saying that they need many more people. Perhaps the last straw was Russia announcing its new mobilization drive. They're saying they're going to try to recruit another 150,000 people, and in Russia they recruit people from the age of 18, though I'm told that the youngest ones don't get sent to Ukraine.
Gulliver, this new conscription age then, a hard pill to swallow given how things are going on the battlefront.
Well, it's a sort of double-edged sword in terms of the way the public are reacting to it, because on the one hand, of course, things aren't going well on the front, and Ukraine is constantly talking very publicly about how short of ammo and weapons it is. So people are afraid, of course, to go and be put in a situation of great danger. But also for that reason, that's why the pressure is mounting to recruit more people, because soldiers who are on the front lines are saying that they are exhausted, they really need rotation, they really need to be replaced. And I think that people do realize that this is necessary, unpopular though it is. I'm not sure exactly how much of these measures, and also the big bill that's supposed to be coming, including punishments for people who try to avoid service, we're told it's going to finally pass the second reading in April, is going to solve the problem, because it seems there's some kind of efficiency issues going on with this, because and lots of people in Kyiv anyway, certainly know people who have not been called up, who say that they are able to go, and they would go if they got called up. They're not going to go voluntarily, considering the danger, but if they're told it's their duty, they will. And a lot of these people aren't at the moment getting their papers.
Ukraine has struck far into Russian territory this Tuesday, Gulliver. Tell us more about that.
Oh, I wanted to mention about the front line before I go on to that.
I'm sorry, Gulliver. Mention the front line, please. Mention the front line. Go ahead, do the front line.
According to the observers who produced the deep state map, the Russians have inched forward another little bit towards the town of Chasiv Yar, which is to the west of Bakhmut. It's the main target at the moment. Volodymyr Zelensky says that the front has been stabilized, and certainly the Russians aren't racing forward, but the Ukrainians do seem to have suffered another minor setback today, and they're expecting a big Russian push in the late spring. Moving on to where they are being successful, though, is with these extraordinary strikes deeper and deeper into Russian territory. The Ukrainian military intelligence, who seem to be behind most of these strikes, sometimes in combination with other groupings, haven't directly claimed responsibility for today's strike in Tatarstan, but they say that they've got the capacity to strike even further. They're targeting Russian munitions factories and oil refineries.
Gallagher Cragg, thank you very much indeed for giving us that update on the situation. Gallagher, of course, our correspondent in Kyiv. Next.